Hi everybody, this is Wendy Lovejoy of the YellowLetterMentoring.com, and today's training is all about handling objections. Handling objections. So for those that are joining us, I really appreciate you and I hope you get something out of today's training. We are live on Facebook and on we are live right now. Okay, we are live on Facebook and Periscope. So for those that are joining us, really appreciate you. As I mentioned before, this training is for people that want a career in real estate. This training is for real estate agents and real estate investors. And today we're going to be focusing on helping you to handle objections. And if you've been following me for a minute, then you get that I always start with mindset. I really believe it's important for people to get the mind part of the training in order. Okay, that's a little too far for me. So let me see if I can get this camera a little closer. There we go. Okay, everybody, as I was saying, this is for those that are focusing on a real estate career. Okay, give me 1 second. I think that should be better. Okay, so thanks for your patience. Again, if you've been following me, my name is Wendy Lovejoy. I have been in real estate well over 25 years, and I like to teach some of the things that have helped me and still continue to help me in my career. And I work with both real estate investors and real estate agents, brokers, everybody real estate related. So, as always, we get started with mindset. And one of the things that I shared last week is that you wanted to really hone in on your why. Why did you get started in real estate? Why did you choose whatever platform, whether it's real estate investing, whether it's to become an agent? What were you looking to accomplish? And your why is very, very important because it will keep you committed, but the process is even more important, that you really want to take time to embrace the process. If you want to have a very good real estate career, you don't want to just get focused on, the paycheck. You want to embrace the process, because the better you get at executing the process, and the more consistent you get about executing the process, embracing the process, the more you will find that your deals will close and you will have more deals. Okay, so don't get caught up in, I want to make $10,000 by the end of the month, or I want to make $2,000 by the end of the week. Those type of things, they will happen naturally, but you've got to learn the process. And the second thing that you want to consider when you're focusing on building your real estate career is you want to look at the community. Like, everything starts with community. What kind of community are you connected to? Are the people in the community that you're spending all your time with just family members, and maybe there's nobody that knows real estate that you speak to? And if your whole community is based on everything you can find out that's free online, your business will not be that strong, because you really don't have a community that supports you, a community that encourages you, and a community that's gonna pull you to the next level. So after you figure out your why, and then you say to yourself, why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I want to make $100,000 more a year, and I want to use that money to make sure my kids are educated, or I want to upgrade our home, or I want to give money to a certain charity, or my parents are getting older. I'd love to see them living a better quality lifestyle. If you do any of those things, that is your why, but you've got to choose a why that really you will lose sleep over, you will give up TV shows for, and if you're a sports fanatic, you will give up a game for it. You know, once you pick that, then you have to look at which part of real estate you feel you're going to use as the vehicle to get you the why. So once you choose a vehicle, whether it's wholesaling or it is, if it's not wholesaling, maybe you've chosen to get involved with fixing and flipping. Maybe you want to take 10 listings a month and you want to sell them yourself. Whatever your goals are, or the process you say you want to do, that is going to get you the why. Now, once you get the how, that is wholesaling, fixing and flipping. Once you get the how, you have to now, once you get the what, first it's your why. Why am I doing this? Whom am I doing this for? And then it's what are you doing? Which is wholesaling, fixing or flipping, buying and holding. That is the what. How you're doing it is the process you're going to use. So it's the process that you are going to, close 10 deals a month. But maybe you've never done this before, so you have to figure out first how to get the first deal done. And then once you figure out how to get the first deal done, then you go back and you look at what did you do that was very difficult for you, where did you have issues, and then you look at where was it easy for you, what part of the business became second nature for you. And then you also look at what do you need to fix now so that you can duplicate what you're doing. So to do deals, you definitely need to always be improving yourself. That is one of the main things people seem to leave out. They look at everything outside of themselves, but you want to figure out how do you improve yourself. And so tonight we wanted to talk more about handling the objections, because once you can handle objections, then you're going to close more deals. And so there's some strategies that I use often. And once you understand certain concepts, certain ways of handling deals, then you will not be stuck when they give you an objection. So the first thing I want you to understand is that an objection does not mean no. It means I don't have enough information, I still have questions, I'm still concerned, I feel like something that I'm dealing with has not been addressed, or I'm not getting the amount of money that I wanted, I'm not getting the amount of time that I wanted. These are the things that you have to look at when you're talking with your sellers, like what is the real objection. And so one of the things that I want you to get in the habit of doing is when somebody gives you an objection, don't assume you know exactly what they're having an issue with. So if their objection is, more houses were selling in our neighborhood, my neighbors told me they got 30,000 more than you're telling me, don't assume that or my neighbors told me they're getting more money than me. Don't put it in your head like, oh, they're getting a lot more money, or don't feel like you know exactly what they're talking about. Feed it back to them. Can you clarify that? So now I want to share with you something. If you notice, when I mentioned that they said their neighbors got more money, or they were told they can get more money, some investors, some agents will automatically just say, well, yeah, you can get $10,000 more, or you can't get any more money. However, when you're handling an objection, you don't want to just answer the objection. There's some things that you're looking for, which is how the language that they spoke the objection in, and then you want to speak back to them in their own language, but you want to educate. Whenever somebody gives you an objection, don't just answer them and keep it moving. You want to educate, because the most educated consumer, the most educated investor, the most educated seller is going to be the person that is willing to work with you even more and even faster. So one of the things you want to do is you want to read back the objection that they give you. So if somebody says, I thought I was going to get more money, I wouldn't just say, well, how much money did you think you were going to get? I would say, well, when you say more money, exactly what are you meaning? So I've used part of what they've said back to them. If they were somebody that is a very visual person, I'd say, oh, so you're seeing more money, or you thought you were going to get more money. How did you see that? Or clarify that for me, because I've got to use back the seeing words that they gave me. Another thing, when somebody has an objection, then if you're really listening to your sellers, or the people that you're speaking with in real estate, they're going to tell you their objections without coming out and just telling you. If you're really listening and you've paid attention to the way we gave you last week of how to put people in the different pools, or to see the 4 personality types, when somebody says to you, I like everything that you're saying to me, but I'm a little confused. When they tell you they're confused, they're also telling you what kind of decision, where they make their decisions from. And if you remember last week, we said the person that is an emotional personality, when somebody is telling you I'm confused, they're being emotional. And an emotional personality is a kinesthetic personality, and that's a person that's feeling a certain kind of way. So with that person, you want to say something to them like, I understand how you feel, but what is confusing in this situation? Which part of this do you find confusing? Because you always want people to really pinpoint their issue. You don't want to just give them a blanket answer, because then you're not answering what's stopping them from moving forward. So you definitely want to say what exactly is that's making you feel that way, and then be quiet and let them speak. Most investors that are new, or buyers agents or sellers agents, they feel that they can basically just keep talking, and they're usually talking out of discomfort, and they feel like the more they talk, the more they will dominate the conversation. But as we said last week, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And if you've gone through the fact of marketing, and hey Aaron, if you've gone to the point of marketing to get a motivated seller, if you've gone to the point of taking out a buyer, and now it's time to make a decision, and they're saying stuff to you like, I want to move forward, but I am confused. Again, you have to go to the emotion and the kinesthetic way of speaking with them and say, I understand how you feel, but can you be more specific and tell me what exactly is making you feel that way? Get people to pinpoint things. Hey, Anthony Williams, how are you, sweetie? Get them to pinpoint things. Don't feel like you're answering the blanket comment, because you won't really be helping them to make a decision. No matter how new you are to the real estate industry or how much experience you have, the best thing you can do for yourself is to master listening, to understand. Listen to be sensitive to what the seller or the person you're holding a conversation is having. Don't listen to be judgmental or to shut them down. You always want to be on the side of the person you're there to help, and the more you look at helping them, the faster and the more likely they will want to work with you. So the first thing you want to do is listen to understand. Another thing, if a person says, something to you, because again, tonight's training is about handling objections. So I'm going to give you some objections and I'm going to give you some of the answers. I encourage you to practice it until it becomes second nature. If somebody says, again, I'm confused, they're in an emotional state, and if you answer them with logic, well, what you said, you're confused. Well, the property's $100,000, and if you buy it now, you're going to save taxes, and in another year, the property's going to go up another 20%. You're going to make money if you buy it now. You're answering them logically, but they're emotional, so they're not even hearing you. There's like a block between you and them. However, if they said that to you and you said something like, I understand how you feel, but can you explain to me exactly what's making you feel that way? Then now you're dealing with their emotion. Once you deal with their emotion, then you can educate them with the facts, but they're not hearing your facts if you don't deal with the emotion first. Okay, if a person says to you, I'm not really feeling this, I'm really not feeling this, that's still another emotional person. Then you have to deal with them on their emotions still. If a person said to you, I get what you're saying, but it's not really clear to me, that's a person that's focusing on the visual part. So you have to speak to them from a visual point of view, and you've got to answer them back using visual words. Okay, I see what you're saying, but can you clarify for me what part of everything that we discussed is not clear to you? Can you be more specific? The thing with visuals, and usually a person that uses visual words is usually a person that's got a lot going on. They're multitasking, they're ego-driven, they want to get results, so they don't want to spend too much on details. You got to be very specific with that person. You got to talk faster, you got to give them information quicker, and then you keep it moving. And then you can come back and educate them a little bit more. If a person says to you, yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but it really doesn't sound like that's something that I can afford to do. That person's telling you that I am auditory. I make all my decisions from what makes sense to me. And when that person shows you that, you've got to give them the same type of answers. You've got to answer them with words that speak of hearing. Okay, I understand that you feel like, what part of everything we discussed do you want me to repeat? What part did maybe I wasn't hearing you correctly? Maybe what I said, you need me to repeat it, because the thing is, you're using speaking words because they listen, they have to hear. So you have to, again, get in the habit of repeating stuff like that to them. I really believe you can do this. So let's sit down and let's handle the part that sounded like it wasn't that specific. You gotta practice this stuff, because when you're handling an objection, it is not about, you said 200,000 and I said 40,000 and now we're done. No, it is really about you learning to clarify their objection. Even in regular sales, if I was going to sell this necklace, I would definitely clarify. If somebody said to me, Wendy, I like that necklace, but I don't know if I want to spend $40 for it. Then what I would say, I would listen to them and see their language, and then I would clarify it. Instead of saying, well, you don't want to spend $40, I'm out of here, I would say, well, can you be more specific? Can you clarify for me, how much you would want to spend, and why would you say that? If I go into a home and the seller says to me, I do want to work with you, but, another investor came and they're going to offer me more money, and I really wanted to get, 10,000 more than what you're telling me, that is an objection. They're not saying, no, Wendy, get out of here. I don't want to speak to you. I don't want to deal with you. On our yellow letter mentoring program, most people respond in a very warm way to us because the program is set up that way. So when you get a lot of responses, you definitely want to question the people so you can eliminate the ones that are not really looking to move forward with you. So don't assume that when a person is saying something that sounds like they don't want to move forward, that that's what they mean. They want to be educated. So if they say, you know, this person offered me 10,000 more and I really thought I could get 10,000 more, clarify it. Okay, I get what you're saying, Sonomi. I see that you really feel that you should get, you know, 10,000 more. Can you answer me? How did you come up with that number? How did you come up with that number? You're asking for clarification. Never answer a question and then, you know, just answer it and keep it moving. If somebody has an objection, you want them to clarify the objection, but you don't want to take it personal. And the thing is, if you practice what I'm sharing with you, it will also help you to stop focusing in your mind of how to answer them so you can get paid. If you practice this with a live seller, a live listing appointment, a live investor, you're going to have more success. Hey Marcus, how are you? You're going to have more success. So last week I shared with you guys to listen clearly. The Nigerians, when they speak, they go like this. It means hear me. And so when they speak, they want you to really hear what they're saying. So the way I want to encourage you is you need to listen for the different speaking types people have. Hey Lou, the different speaking types. As I mentioned before, the blues, the dolphins, those are warm-hearted people. The yellow, the whale, those are people that really want to save the world. And then the shark is the person that is very competitive. And then you have the urchin, the green, they're detail-oriented. But when you break it down from 4 to 3 different categories, it is visual, kinesthetic, and auditory. And I said to you last week, an auditory person, when you walk into a seller's house, when you're speaking to a seller, you've got to be diagnosing them. So you're listening so you can give them the right information. And it's not always, yes, the houses in your area, they are going right now for 100,000. You know, and the amount of work that you need done, we can close right away. I'll take care of this, I'll take care of that. You need to share all of that, but you need to share it in their speaking style. So if a person is kinesthetic, they're very emotional, and you can touch them on the shoulder, you can touch them on the hand. These are specific ways that are not kind of disrespectful, but they tell the person, listen, I got your back. We can do this together. So you always want to, because they're emotional, and they will share that they make their decisions from an emotional space. If you listen to them clearly, they will say stuff like, I'm confused. I'm really not sure if this is what I want to do right now. Those are all emotions. Don't start giving them facts until you deal with their emotional state. And so another person that is auditory, when you come and you meet with them, I used to love when I did my MLM meetings, because when I would go up to the front of the room, I could tell the different types of people that I was dealing with. When I was in the back of the room, I usually sit in the back of my meeting so I could see the body language. And the person that's sitting like this is an auditory person. They're not focused on seeing you, they're focused on hearing you. And so when they speak, they'll say, oh, that doesn't sound right to me. Or I really didn't hear what you said. So you got to clarify it. Now that person, they want to hear a lot of facts. So you've got to give them stuff like, here's the stats. Even when somebody's looking to join our the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program, if they're a person that needs details, you can share with them the market. Out of every 100 people that get into real estate, there are, only 13% that make it. The other 87% fail. That's for every 100. And now thousands upon thousands of people are getting into real estate. Out of the 13%, the ones that make it are the ones that invest in really learning this industry. They look to embrace the process and understand it, and not just look at wholesaling, but they embrace the whole process. They want to understand how to market for more deals, how to network and share, and how to, automate their business. They want to know how to text blast and how to send, an email chain so that their stuff gets sold. They are also looking at how to do yellow letters and postcards. They're more specific about how they invest their time. So when you are looking at doing real estate investing, again, when you're handling that objection, even if it's another investor you're trying to wholesale a deal with, listen to how they speak to you. A visual person is going to be like me. We move our hands a lot. We got a lot going on. We got a lot on our plate, and it's not negative, but we live life in a big way. And the big way doesn't mean we're on a private jet every day, but we've got a lot of streams going on, streams of income, streams of business. So you want to deal, those are called the reds. These are people that are usually looking to get a lot of business. Like for myself, because people follow me and I have some sort of a following. People know I was in multi-level marketing. I've been in real estate for over 25 years. So every single day people message me to I'd love to have you try this. I'd love to have you on my team for that. I'll even pay your way. But they never take time to understand how I speak so that they can sell me in my own language. And so when you have a seller that is having an objection with you, most people, if you're an investor, some investors would say something to you like, I'm not comfortable with real estate investors because, and I don't assume that they think all real estate investing is a scam. What I will say is, what about real estate investing are you uncomfortable with? That is called reading back to them their objection. So that is a technique. Whenever somebody gives you an objection, don't assume that you know what they mean. Read it back to them. And if they don't answer you, speak and then read it back to them again. Every time you read it back, that's called a broken record. You're just going to keep reading it back until they answer you. And you're not going to sit there and be like, what do you mean? You have a problem with this part. What do you mean you have a problem with this part? So if they say, I was really looking to make a little bit more money, you can give them some information on the property because you've worked your checklist.
Some more cause I'm moving it hard like this. Oh nah nah nah, and I tell them again, they be calling my phone like this. They know that it's hot when I step in the room.